Hello, we're back and we're continuing the development of this hotel suite by way of organizing the drafting. Um, you do that by creating layers. Layers is an organizational tool that lets you move objects onto a layer to identify them. And so there's several layers we need to make. The layer properties here, we've gone through this in the past. You make new layers using the new layer command. You pick colors, you pick line weights over here, and and you give them names. In this exercise, we'll do just that, except we'll do it by typing. If I type LA, for example, that launches the layer command here. If I type minus LA, it launches the layer command by way of this text box. And again, all the letters showing up in blue are the commands. If I want to make a new layer, I would type M and it'll make a new layer. If I want to add color, I would type C, enter, and it'll allow me to pick a color. And if I type, in this case, I believe it's LW. Let's see if they have LW is for line weight. It'll let me type a line weight. So if I, for example, type M for make, and I type, let's do layer called structure, enter. Structure layer is active. You see here on the top, you made a new layer called structure. It's still active. The layer command is still available. I can type right now C for color, and the color is magenta. I can actually type the word magenta, or I can type 6, because 6 equals magenta in AutoCAD. Enter. It recognizes the color magenta. Hit enter. LW for line weight. And here they want us to do a 0.01. Enter. Enter. Now that layer is complete. You notice the color has been changed here. If you take a peek at the layer properties, you see here the line weight has not been changed. I'm surprised. Well, let's fix it here. I'll come into here, click on that, and type. Let's see. Oh, I see what happened. They don't have a 0.01 inch line weight. So we'll have to investigate that further. So given that, as I look at the layer properties here, it says here that the line weights are in millimeters, but the instructions are to enter the line weights in inches. I need to correct that problem. I'm going to close this for a second. It failed because it didn't recognize my inch size. So I typed the word line weight, enter. And here, line weights are set up for millimeters. However, I can convert to inches instead, and I can hit OK. So now when I return to the layer properties here, I can see here it's accepting inches. Inches for this layer. This layer is called structure. Structure should be uh, this one, 0.012 inches. I hit accept, and now it accepts the right line weight. So that's the only change I had to make because the line weights were defaulting to millimeters instead of inches. So let's close this out. And let's return and make the rest of the layers. And I'll do it quickly. Minus LA, enter. M for make, enter. Uh, and honestly, that should not have been structured. Let's go back here. I'm escaping here. This layer should be renamed. So I can right click and rename that layer. This should be fixtures. Fixtures is magenta, and it is a 0.01 inch thickness. Hit OK. Getting ahead of myself. So let's do that. That is a quick way to correct. Let's go back to minus LA, M for make. The next layer is called format. Format. Color is white, so I'm going to hit enter because it's already white by default. Enter. And then LW is 0.02 inches. Enter. 0.02 inches. Enter. If it doesn't let me do that here, then what I'll do is I will do it on the layer properties. So I'll exit out of that command. Go into here. Here's the format. This guy here should be line weight 0.02. Not sure what the holdup is. It's right there. Hit OK. It seemed to accept it. I'll try again and see if there's an issue with the typing commands in AutoCAD because that normally should work. Minus LA, enter. M for make, enter. Furniture, enter. C for color, blue, enter, enter. LW for line weight, enter. And I should be able to type 0.01 inches. And potentially, maybe this is where the issue arises. Maybe the typing commands no longer function the way they normally should. Because I should be able to type a number here, enter. And here it's saying a line width required. I'm going to hit enter again and enter a second time to exit the command. I'm going to circle back to the layer properties and edit the line weights there since there seems to be a problem. But I can quickly type minus LA, enter, M for make, enter, miscellaneous, enter, C for color. This is red, enter, enter. Go back to M for make another layer. Structure, which I believe I already have, C for color, magenta, enter, enter, enter. The last enter completes the command. And then circle back here and make sure and confirm that the line weights are accurate, since there seems to be a problem with the typing command. Structure here is 0.12, 0.012. This one's called miscellaneous. Miscellaneous is 0.01. Here, furniture is a 0.01 as well. So under line weight here, 0.01. Hit OK. Format is 0.2. Fixtures are 0.10. Def points comes with the software. We will leave that one alone. These are all the appropriate colors per layer. Fixtures, I don't believe fixtures are, I see struck. Made a little typo here. This is green. Structures are green. Miscellaneous is red. Furniture is blue. Format is white. Fixtures are magenta. This layer is complete according to the chapter. Next, let's move all those objects onto the appropriate layers. The correct or the current layer here is called structure. Temporarily, let me make this layer 0. So I'm going to go bit by bit and move these objects to the correct layers they belong to. Walls, windows, and doors belong to the, um, in this case, they'd like us to move those to the structure layer. I'm simply going to grab the entire drawing and move everything to the structure layer. And I'll circle back and move things to the appropriate layers piece by piece. So, for example, here, I can drag my mouse through all these objects here and move those all to the furniture layer. I can go here, drag these objects here by my mouse. I'm going backwards from right to left to select. That's the crossing window. Anything touching or inside that crossing window is going to be selected, so that here I can move those to the furniture layer. Here I can very quickly move these here to the furniture layer. These objects here move to the furniture layer. So I'll do it here. This same thing here. Furniture. Let's see. Here, these are fixtures. I'm going to grab these objects here and move them to the fixtures layer. So everything in the washroom is now this magenta color. I'll grab this object here and move those into the furniture layer. And honestly, there's certain things here that are not necessarily furniture. So these shelves aren't necessarily furniture. So let's move those into the miscellaneous category. And let's see if we're missing anything. All these aren't these shelves here are not the shelves, but rather the curtains here. I'm going to grab all those curtains there and move them into the miscellaneous category. I'll go over here and grab these objects here, that block. I'll move that block to the miscellaneous layer. Again, it's important to note that this block, before it became a block, was drawn on layer 0. If something's drawn on layer 0 and it turns into a block, that block will transform into its current layer's color. So because these used to be white when they were originally created, clicking on them and moving them to the miscellaneous category will make them red because it becomes that layer's color. If you made a block and the objects inside the block were not on layer 0, then they're going to stay their original colors no matter what layer you bring them into. So it's important to note the distinction there. So you typically want to make blocks on layer 0 so they can transform into the layer you decide to place them on. It adds more flexibility to the drawing. And as I think about it, I think I will start moving some objects to the miscellaneous layer. Like these these objects here aren't necessarily furniture. So let's move them to miscellaneous. These objects here, these lamps aren't exactly, I guess you could be considered furniture. A lamp is considered furniture. I won't mark it wrong if it remains furniture, but these are definitely miscellaneous. A TV, miscellaneous. This TV here is miscellaneous. This object here it is a bit of a furniture. I would I would keep it as furniture. But the goal here is just to confirm that you understand how to move objects to their appropriate layer when the time comes during your drafting. This is the final result of this chapter's efforts, and we'll see you next class.